Pacific Northwest Ballet's Ginabel Peterson. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. First of all, love your shirt.
Thank
I don't know
you.
when this whole like half shirt thing came back, but I freaking love it. I have like two flannels like that, and it's like my favorite thing to wear ever. So let me ask you this. Obviously, you're in Seattle now.
Mhm.
You are from Philadelphia. How did you get from, you know what? Let's not even start there. Let's start with what first sparked your interest in doing ballet.
So, my parents actually put me in it when I was like 5 or 6 years old. They were like, you need something to do after school.
Yeah.
So, they put me in ballet and I just fell in love with it and I stuck with it all the way until now.
Really?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you went to a play or anything. It was kind of like your parents were like, you know what? She likes to dance. Let's find her something to do.
Yeah, no, it was literally that because, like, when I was really little, I would put on like Chaka Khan and Michael Jackson and just like dance around the living room.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why they were like, yeah, let's put her in ballet and, see what happens.
So, okay, how did you end up in Seattle from Philadelphia?
That's actually a long story, but
We got a little bit of time. We
yeah.
got some time.
So after my parents' divorce, I moved to DC with my mom, and I trained at the Kirov Academy. And then I kind of realized that the Russian training wasn't really for me, so I went to Miami City Ballet School.
Quick question. What do you mean by Russian training?
So, like the Vaganova training, it's a style of training or a technique of training. It's very classical, and it's very different from doing like I guess like the Balanchine style,
Gotcha.
which is what we do here. So yeah, it's very much for people like stick thin, like
Interesting.
no curves or anything.
Really? Is it because of the
Yes.
type of dance or is it just like what they prefer?
I would say it's what they prefer because it
Mm.
definitely feeds into, I guess, like body types, and
Mhm.
it's not accepting of all body types, and I would say especially like black bodies,
Yeah.
or just anyone with more curves. So yeah, and the teachers were also just very mean and very discouraging.
Not mean teachers. Look,
Um,
we're trying to do something that's happy, it's
right,
feminine, and you're over here
right,
being mean.
and there's definitely a way to still like get good training and discipline your dancers without being very mean and discouraging and making people feel like they're never going to make it, like they never have a chance, because that's definitely how I was feeling while I was there.
Wow.
So I left.
And you were probably one of the only, girls of color that was
Oh,
there.
absolutely. I think my first year there was one other black girl in my class, and then my second year there was another black girl in school, but we weren't in the same class.
Wow.
And that, yeah. Yeah. So I went to Miami City Ballet School, and that was much better for me. I was definitely feeling more encouraged, and I had a feeling of like, yes, like all of the work that I'm putting into this, like my teachers, like they're seeing it, and it really makes a difference in your confidence and just how you feel about yourself. And there were more, people of color because there were lots of Brazilians there and Cubans. And I'm half Dominican, so that definitely made me feel
More comfortable,
exactly
like
more at home.
seeing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so then after that, I went to Indiana University, and I trained there in the ballet department. Um, and then after that, I went to Ballet West, and I was in the second company there for 2 years before I auditioned for P&B in 2021.
Was that like during the pandemic?
Yes, I did.
What
my
was that
audition during
like?
oh my god, it was like the scariest thing ever. I was so nervous because I was like, oh my god, I'm not gonna get a job, and I thought I wasn't even gonna get promoted into the company at Ballet West because I was like, everyone's losing money right now. Like the arts are getting forgotten. No one's going to be hiring. But I got hired, so
We made it.
I
We
made
got
it.
in there.
But yeah, so I made my audition video. I sent it to P&B, and then Peter invited me to take company class over Zoom, and that was so scary because I could barely even hear him.
So you're like getting lessons and directions via your computer screen.
Yes. And I could barely hear him. I could barely hear the music, the studio I was in. So quick backstory. So Ballet West has like 2 different studios in downtown Salt Lake City, and there's like a smaller one where they put like all the babies. And so that's where they put Ballet West 2 in the pandemic, like social distancing. And so the studios, they aren't as, nice as like the main studios, and like
the babies are in there.
right, the babies. And so the floor was so slippery. Like I remember people were literally falling like every day in Ballet West 2 class. And so I went into one of the other, separate studios to do my audition, and this floor was even more slippery. And I was like, you know what? At least I made it this far. That's saying something. Like, not everyone
At
makes
that
it
point,
this
it's meant to
far.
be because you almost broke your neck trying to do your tape.
Oh my God. It was scary, but I made it.
So, okay. So that's what basically brought you to Seattle. And that's what also probably attracted you to PNB because it was more inclusive.
Yes, I would say so. I feel like Ballet West, they were also, doing the work. I feel like a lot of ballet companies, after the 2020 Black Lives Matter, they were, like, okay, like, we got to do something, to make a change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, and I was asking Amanda Morgan this earlier this week, I was like, do you really feel like this inclusion really would have ever happened, at least at this point, had it not been for all of the protests?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
That kind of sucks.
It does suck, but I mean, like,
I mean,
feel
we're
like
here
that's just
now,
America.
but
You know what I mean? I don't think it's just ballet. I think that's just America in
True.
general. Like, everyone was just asleep.
True. I don't remember who I was talking to, but I was telling someone I felt like that was a time when for once we all felt the same thing. Like the whole world felt the same thing at the same time. And it was just like, dang, I know we're different, but we literally are going through the same things. We're all at home. We're all worried about our family members. We're all going crazy with whatever our spouse is or trying to keep our plants alive. It was like one moment of unity.
Yeah. No, for real. And I feel like that's why, like, even white folks were like, oh,
yeah,
because like everyone was just at home and they had time to sit with it, and like think about it. And so I think that was the big difference, because Black Lives Matter didn't start in 2020.
Yeah.
People just didn't pay attention to it the way they did in 2020.
They had more distractions.
Exactly. Like they had, like, I got to go here, then I got to go there. And, there was so much to do. Whereas like if you're sitting at home, you have time to think.
You had no choice but to pay attention.
Exactly.
So, okay, we're going to go to a commercial break in a second. But I am curious to know, and this is really random, during the season, what kind of diets are you guys on? If at all?
I like to believe that everything is okay in moderation. I don't like to get too strict, because then that's like, when you go a little bit crazy, mentally. And I'm just like, you know what? If I want to have this one donut, I'm gonna have this donut.
Period. I'm gonna dance it off tomorrow anyways, right?
Exactly.
So like outside of dance though, do you do additional working out, or is just like all of the dance like your whole workout?
Oh yes, no, you definitely gotta cross train. I do a lot of Pilates, and I do my PT exercises. I get on the bike for my stamina. I gotta stretch and roll out at the end of the day so I can walk the next day.
Very fair. And I was actually wanting to ask you this, like, how do you guys, this is so random, but I've always seen like the photos, or it's like a before and after of ballerinas and like your points, and it's like it looks so beautiful, but this is what they have to go through, and like like show like feet that are like obviously like in pain. How do you rest your feet after a show, so that way you're ready for like the next day if you have to perform again?
So I do contrast. You do like 3 minutes in hot and like 2 minutes in cold, and I'll usually do like 3 sets of that, but I try to finish on cold. And then I also like roll out my feet, and then I also sometimes like I'll like get in the bath and just kind of like massage my feet out and like pull out my toes.
It's like a whole process, like a whole, like what happens if you go home and you don't do all of that?
I suffer the next day.
Okay, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Okay, so we're gonna go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I have some more questions about the Nutcracker and all of the different roles that you'll be playing this year. Stay tuned to Rewind with Besa. We're still live at McCaw Hall.
A world of wonder awaits at Pacific Northwest Ballet's The Nutcracker. Treat your loved ones to the Northwest's favorite holiday tradition at Seattle Center's McCaw Hall. Tickets start at $27. Visit pnb.org.
Will you marry me, babe?
Yes.
Yeah, let me put this on you.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Trey Holiday. We're bringing back Black Love When We Met. That's right. We need something to warm all of our hearts and to elevate love once again in our communities. We want y'all to go to whereweconverge.com/Black Love so y'all can nominate your favorite couple for the next rendition of this show with me as the host. Let me sit down and have them on my couch and share how their love can inspire us all. Make sure y'all go and get your nominations in today and be on the lookout for Black Love When We Met coming at you on Converge Media very soon.
Hey guys, Besa Gordon here, and before heading to Belize, Trey Holiday and I had to make sure we linked up with our good friends over at Market Street Shoes to, of course, grab a few things for the trip. From bags to socks, shoes, sunglasses, earrings, and more. Before going on any trip, make sure you stop at Market Street Shoes. Trust me, you'll find just what you need to make your trip not only enjoyable, but fashionable. Welcome back to Rewind with Besa. We are still live at McCaw Hall, and I am still joined by the beautiful Ginabel Peterson. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sitting with me. And I know you guys have a busy schedule, but I want to ask about the Nutcracker really quick. I was looking on the website, and I was noticing all the different roles that everyone plays. It's like some people are playing 2 different roles. Some people are playing like 3 different roles. What roles are you playing this year?
So this Nutcracker season, I'm actually recovering from an injury.
No!
Yes. So I will only be doing Party Mom and Mrs. Stahlbaum because I just started dancing again yesterday, actually, just doing bar. So yeah, unfortunately, I won't actually be dancing.
Yeah. Well, that's no fun. Well, when you typically do dance, how many roles do you typically play?
So this season, I was supposed to do those 2 roles: Snow, Flowers, Marzipan Core, Spanish Lead, and Arabian and Demi Flowers. So I guess that's 8 roles.
Okay, so for, people that want to join ballet or maybe are struggling with when they have multiple roles, how do you not mix those roles up? Like, I know me. If I'm like starting here and then I'm there and then I have this role over there, eventually I've like put 3 roles together and I'm just all over the place. Like, that's something that I would probably accidentally do.
I think just rehearsal.
Yeah.
Like really, paying attention into rehearsal. And, if you need to go into a studio by yourself to work on things, then, do that. Like I had to do that a lot last season because it was my first time doing this Nutcracker. And I wasn't doing as many roles. I was doing 6. And so, just making sure you go over it before you go on stage. Like I remember last season, I would only do Marzipan Core like maybe once or twice a weekend. So then by the next week, before going on stage, I would just backstage go over the choreography before I went on stage. So, you can feel confident and you don't have to think so much.
Yeah.
And, you can just dance and enjoy it.
And relax.
Exactly.
And be in the moment.
Right. Yeah. So just making sure you're prepared before you go on.
Speaking of being in the moment, have you ever been on stage and just got so in the moment that you kind of looked up and was like, oh, wait, I'm not home by myself, but it probably felt good in the moment.
I wouldn't say I'd had necessarily that reaction, but I feel like it's just like this moment of just like pure joy.
Yeah.
You're just so excited to be out there. You're just, you're having so much fun, and you feel the audience's energy and it feels great. I wouldn't say it's like a surprise, but it's just like, I love being here. I love what I do.
That energy of the crowd has
Yeah.
to be like electric. I was talking to Shayna Shepherd the other day, and I was like, I cannot imagine what it feels like to be on a stage and everyone is either just staring at you like that or they're all singing your music. Like that probably has to just feel, I don't know, rechargeable, if you will.
It is. I wouldn't say you can't see them staring because it's just
Really?
like black. It's just black. You just see like these little heads.
You just know that people are out there.
Which I honestly prefer.
Okay.
I don't want to see them.
I love it. Okay, so inclusion, you know, for a long time in ballet, you guys all pretty much had to wear pink tights, pink points, and now you're able to wear like your actual skin tones. How does that feel for you now?
I think it feels amazing. I feel like it definitely has helped with like my journey of feeling more confident in myself. And I feel like I look better.
Yeah.
So I feel better. You know, it continues the line. You know, you don't feel like, you know, you're like cut in half.
Really?
Yeah, I remember it's actually really interesting. So Ballet West, they have this cute little coloring book for the kids.
Mhm.
And on the cover, it has, I think it's like the sugar plum parada couple, and they're like half colored in. And when I was looking at it, I was like, that's kind of like what it's like wearing pink tights.
It's like it cuts off your legs a little bit.
Yeah. And so I just, you know, I love it. And it took me a minute, you know, to like embrace wearing flesh tone tights. And Destiny and I were
Really?
actually talking about this before we got here. It's just that at first it felt like you would stand out more if you wore your brown tights because everyone else is wearing pink tights. Whereas it's like I stand out either way.
To say, well, actually,
you know, what difference does it make? So I might as well feel good
and look
wear,
good.
Yeah, feel good and look good, look better.
If I'm going to stand out, let me stand out and look amazing.
Exactly, and just be myself and be unapologetic and, you know, feel authentic. You know, so.
Speaking of being unapologetic, I seen on your Instagram, you had a photo. It was you and 3 other ballerinas, and you all had braids. And the caption was ballerina braids long. How does it feel to like actually go into rehearsal or be on a stage with other Black ballerinas and you guys are able to wear your braids? Like you're not having to hide your hair, you're not having to hide your styles. Like you're really able to be yourself out there.
It feels so amazing. Like especially I love that you bring that up too, because I remember when I had my big chop back in high school and I was going to Kirov, and I remember I had to do a bun and my hair was so short. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do a bun. And I just remember feeling so uncomfortable. Whereas it's like now, like I literally just did diamonds at Lincoln Center in New York with my puff.
Oh my God.
And that was just such an amazing moment for me. Like I just felt like I don't even know, like I don't even have words for like how that moment felt. And it just.
Did you ever think a moment like that would happen for you to where you can actually like, no, I don't have to put my hair in a bun. If I want to, that's fine. But if I want to wear my natural hair out, I can do that.
I never really thought that would ever like be my reality. And it actually took my Ballet West 2 director like telling me like, no, just leave your hair. Because I came into the studio and I had my puff and I was about to like put it into a bun. He was like, no, just leave it. And so then that was like, you know, my thing. And then I came here and I would still wear it in class, but I didn't think that was something to be like I could do on stage. And then Xylis and I, they're another Black dancer in the company. We had like a meeting just about hair with Peter and just like what, you know, our options are and like what we can do that's still, you know, performance, but embraces our hair. And so then it wasn't until after that where I like started wearing my puff. And, you know, I feel like braids were a little bit more accepted than like something like, you know, a puff, just because it can go into a bun. But yeah.
That is super dope. Okay, I'm going to ask you some random questions.
Okay.
Let me flip the page one time. How do you relax outside of being ballerinas? This is 6 randoms with Besa, by the way, you guys.
Well, I like to take baths. I hang out with my friends. I like to read I like to do like little art projects too. I have these 2 beautiful paintings that I've done.
Also, you paint too.
Yes. And I'm actually currently working on this really cute collage to go up on my wall. But
On
yeah.
collages. Okay, what does it mean to you to be a Black ballerina in a form that you didn't necessarily get to see growing up?
Oh, that's a hard question. I don't know. I feel like it's an honor, and I just feel I was actually talking kind of about this with Destiny, but I just want to make sure that other young girls and boys like sitting in the audience, I don't want them to feel what I felt growing up. Um, especially like going back to like the hair, just like embracing our natural beauty and showing that so, you can feel confident and, see yourself, and I think it goes back to, tights, like the brown tights. It's different when you see someone on stage that looks like you and they're embracing our beauty and not, trying to fit into, the Eurocentric ideas of beauty. And so I think it really makes a difference. And I feel honored, and I want to inspire them, and I want them to feel comfortable and feel like, when they walk into the studio that they aren't like, oh,
Like they have to feel conscious of their curves or of their hair. And it's
Right.
like, no, girl, you're okay.
Yeah.
You're a beautiful dancer.
Yes.
So, okay, one misconception of being a ballerina.
One misconception. That it's just all, well, I guess I don't want to be discouraging, but that it's just easy, that it's just, all, like I guess rainbows and butterflies and just like, it's actually very, very difficult and very time consuming. Like, I don't like to say it's just a job. I feel like it's more of like a lifestyle. You definitely have to be, very disciplined and focused. But there's still joy in that, but you definitely have to love it because it is so time consuming.
That makes sense. Okay. Recently, over in Russia, they found a 50,000-year-old, I want to say, virus, and it's a zombie virus. So, say it's time for us to go to Mars. Are you going to Mars or are you going underground?
Oh.
Yeah, that's actually a thing. I Googled it.
Wait, this isn't a hypothetical?
No, this really happened. They really did find a virus in some ice because it like melted, and then apparently they took it back to the lab. Somehow they revived it, and I'm like, so not only did you find a zombie virus, that's what they're calling it, a zombie virus. You can Google it. It was like a few days ago, but they revived it. I don't know if it's catchable, but it's a thing.
I'll just go where all the Black people go.
You know what? Rooting for everybody as Black. I like that. Favorite cheat meal?
My favorite cheat meal. I hate to say it, but I love the homophobic chicken at Chick-fil-A.
Let me tell you something. Everyone judges me because I still have not actually gone to a Chick-fil-A. You see, you see you judging me right now.
I'm just surprised. I'm not judging. I'm surprised.
I feel like I don't know. I'm just one of those people where it's like whenever I think about it, it's Sunday, and then I end up not going, and so it's just like I don't know. One of these days I'll make it there.
Yeah, you should.
Last question: what would you tell your 7-year-old self?
My 7-year-old self. I don't know. I would say, I feel like when people say like discouraging things, like don't let it get to you. Like do not let it get to you. Just be like, okay, and keep it pushing. Like don't internalize it. Yeah.
I love that. Well, shoot. I want to thank you for hanging out with me on this. What is today? Thursday? This week has like just this whole year is actually a blur, honestly. I hope that you have an amazing season here at PNB. Hopefully you're able to heal up very, very quickly. Do you know how long before you're fully healed?
So I should be back for Giselle.
Okay.
I just started bar yesterday, and so it's been going on for like 2 months now. So I'm just, taking my time so I can come back strong. But I think I'll be fully dancing by the end of Nutcracker. I just won't make it on stage.
Okay. Well, shoot, until next time, you know what? You have my full on support. Keep being amazing and just literally inspiring that next generation of Black ballerinas.